Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Reds Talk, the #1 independent fan channel dedicated to Manchester United and England. We have a massive fucking preview for you guys today. It's France versus England in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. It doesn't get much bigger than this, obviously, apart from the semi-finals and the final. Lots of topics to discuss and predictions to be made, but before we do that, let me roll out the red carpet for the lads today. So we'll go to Sam first. Sam, how you doing?
We're just going to ignore the other thing in our list for now.
I have no idea what you're going on about.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just waiting for this to be addressed, really. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's get...
Yep. We've got Severe. We've got Severe on the show. How are you, Severe?
Man, just get to the main person here.
And I'll let him introduce himself. We have.
Je m'appelle Monsieur Adam Gray.
Allez les bleus.
Allez les bleus.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I was going to say originally we've got a neutral to provide some perspective from both sides, but it doesn't seem like he's a neutral on today's show. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. He's got his French kit on. He's got his baguette. He's got
the mustache. The mustache does it for me.
Yeah. So if anyone ever thought he was supporting England, he's put that rumor to bed. For sure. So yeah, don't forget, guys, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button in the bottom right corner of your screen. Make sure you smash a like on the video as well before we start the official show. As it's Christmas, let us know in the comment section what you want from this channel for Christmas. We'd love to hear some feedback from you guys, so drop us a DM or put your comments in.
I think Adam's answered a few people's dreams today, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I think a lot of people have been asking for that. Adam, Dan's asking in the chat, 1 hot dog, please.
No, I won't play on it.
No, I don't want to move on. I want to stick with this. What's your favorite baguette? What if you're gonna put something on that baguette? What's your go-to thing? You think?
You know what's very, very underrated? Crisps in a baguette.
Crisps? What the fuck are
That's
crisps?
not French. That's not fucking French.
Crisps.
Like crisps. Oh, that's dry, that though, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, a bit of butter. You got to put butter on it too.
Oh, still though, I feel like a baguette and crisp that'd be a tough battle for me. I think it's gonna be a lot of.
I can feel it rolled off.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we always start. The World Cup previews off with a World Cup warm up. So, in your opinion, lads, who is the greatest French player ever?
Zidane. Question.
Yeah, when you're looking at it from, like, he had everything, didn't he? Skillful, he was tall. He was a bit of a shit house. Ballon d'Or winner.
A bit of a shit
won
house.
Everything.
A bit of a shit house. He headbutted a guy in his last game.
Mean bastard as well. Like silky player, but he's a mean bastard.
It has to be Zidane.
Yeah.
It has to be him.
Yeah. A couple of shout outs. Obviously, the players like Platini, I wasn't around for. Maybe Sam and Seville.
I knew that. I was fucking awaiting.
Even Severe's 56 and he can't remember Platini.
Every show, Severe's age goes up by about 5 years.
Yeah.
Just every show.
Yeah, the greatest looking 56-year-old you've ever seen in your life. You should be selling fucking skincare, mate. I'm telling you. A couple of other shout-outs as well. Henry, Mbappe, Benzema, Cantona, obviously great players as well. Another question for you is name one player, no Mbappe, you would take from the French squad, but you have to give him an English player in return in the same position. So if you want, let's say Dembele, for example, you have to give him Saka in return or Foden, if that makes sense.
From the current squad.
They have to be in the World Cup squad now. Okay. Because I'd be like Benzema over Harry Kane, I'd take.
Yeah, but he's not there, is he?
Current crop.
Oh wait, there's a simple one. Varane for Maguire.
Okay.
It is in club level, yeah, but Maguire's played well for England, so it's. Do you know what I mean?
I never thought I would hear them words coming out of Sam's mouth. To be honest.
I mean, that's probably the answer. I think that's definitely the answer.
Okay.
I would go Chiming for us.
Nice.
That's a good choice.
I like it. I love Jude Bellingham. Awesome player.
You've never mentioned him,
and
Nick.
then-
Never mentioned him on the show.
The last one. So we're doing a quick King of the Hill, France versus England striker edition. David Trezeguet or Alan Shearer?
Ooh. Damn it.
Here.
To watch Trezeguet, but records, Shearer's probably got the records, hasn't he?
Definitely got the records.
Yeah, you have to go. Oh, that's a hard one.
That's what I'm here for.
Oh,
I might just go Shearer just for the numbers, because Shearer's just a natural goal scorer.
Okay.
I'll go Trezeguet just because I love to watch him over Shearer. I didn't see much of Shearer, but to
100%.
watch Trezeguet is sick. I loved it.
Bad man. Adam, who did you say? Sorry.
Shearer.
Shearer. Okay. Shearer or Harry Kane?
Well, Harry Kane's probably going to beat Shearer's record, isn't he? He's probably going to beat it.
I'm going to go Harry Kane just as an overall footballer. Yeah, I'm going to go Harry Kane because Harry Kane is just a lot more. Yeah, he's more than just goals. Like he does everything. So yeah.
Okay. Harry Kane or Cantona? Oh, there's a few pauses.
No, I'm just not going to dignify that with a response, mate. Come on. Don't fucking speak to me.
It's like...
I am the host. I keep saying this.
Cantona. All day. Every day.
Okay. Cantona or Michael Owen?
Cantona. Fuck off.
Come on.
Bro, I'm just asking strikers, England strikers, a thing. Yeah, like, I've got to throw some... Michael Owen was a fucking top player. Come on.
But he's a dickhead.
Don't disrespect Michael Owen. He was a fucking top striker. When he first...
Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Exactly.
Cantona, though.
Deadly player. And the random facts of the day.
He's also never seen a film that he's liked.
Yeah.
Fact.
Okay, let's move on from Michael Owen because it's clearly people don't like him. Cantona or Henry?
Henry.
Oh. Fuck.
I agree.
Fuck.
Not even Henry for me.
Henry. I love Cantona, but Henry was unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Okay. Ready for the next one? Oh, sorry, Adam. Go on.
I was just going to say, if you put Henry at the time into the Man United team, would he have been able to do what Cantona done? I doubt it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I think Adam has got a bias though against Henry because he stopped then qualifying for a World Cup with a handball.
That's where it is.
Let me get the England jersey.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's my pint of Stella?
Yeah.
Are you ready for the next one?
Go on.
Thierry Henry or Wayne Rooney?
Henry,
man. I love Rooney, but Henry,
Yeah. Henry or Benzema?
Adam's not answered yet.
Sorry, Adam. I keep fucking skipping you, man. Sorry. Apologies.
I'd have to say Henry, but Rooney done it longer. For me.
So everyone said Henry there, yeah?
Sacrificed themselves, but I'll say Henry again.
Yeah.
Okay. Henry or Benzema?
Henry,
yeah. Nick's going to say Benzema. Yeah. Nick's definitely saying Benzema.
I'm the host. No,
who are you picking then? Because I want to know about that one. Because I know how big of a fan. No, answer the question.
No.
Answer the question.
Yeah, it would be probably Henry. I'd probably say Henry. But I do love Benzema.
Yeah.
And then last one, Henry or Kylian Mbappe?
Still going to go Henry.
At the minute, because Mbappe's still so young. Mbappe's still so young. I think after when Mbappe gets to the end of his career, maybe you go Mbappe. But at the minute, I think you have to go Henry.
I'd agree with that.
All right, then. That was a lot easier than I thought it would be, to be fair. Let's turn our focus, fellas, to the game on Saturday night. England versus France, 7 o'clock kickoff. Mbappe versus Kane, the world champions versus the Euro finalists. Southgate versus Deschamps for a place in the semi-finals of a World Cup and a potential opponent in Portugal or Morocco. France topped their group with 6 points, which consisted of teams Denmark, Australia and Tunisia. But I think their only loss was against Tunisia when they played like the B B squad or something, which, in fairness, can still compete with a lot of teams. They are the reigning world champions. They do have a rich history in the competition, and they have an incredible depth of talent, as we know. Now, obviously, the standout name, Kylian Mbappe, but they still have world-class talents in Griezmann. I don't know if you guys have been watching France much this tournament, but Griezmann's been fucking unreal for him. Unreal. And then, obviously, Dembele, and there's a lot of talk.
Giroud's been...
Giroud as well, yeah. I don't even know, I forgot him. And there's a lot of talks that Benzema not being in the squad has actually brought them together a little bit more in a weird kind of way. So they look functioning. They've got a lot of big talent, so we know they're dangerous. England themselves had a little bit of a shaky start against Senegal in the quarterfinals, but once we dusted the cobwebs off in the first half, I felt like the second half we kind of dominated them a little bit, and obviously came away with the result of 3-0. In terms of head-to-head, Adam touched on one before, but there's been a couple of times we played them in major comps. We drew 1-1 in the Euros back in 2012. We lost 2-1 in the Euros in 2004. But the last time we played them in the World Cup, we actually beat them 3-1. But that was back in 1982. So I'm not holding on to anything there. And the United legend scored in that game. Any guesses, fellas?
82.
82. A United legend scored 2 goals. And for France as well, Platini was captaining them.
English United legend.
Yeah.
1982. I was 33. So,
this guy, man. This guy.
Severe was starting to develop his pension in 1982.
Mark Hughes? No, Mark Hughes is
He's Welsh, yeah.
United legend. Jesus.
In 80s, think about the 80s. Is he a United legend as well?
No,
come on.
Ryan Robson.
I was going to go
Ryan Robson. He's the youngest goal scorer, isn't he? Or something.
Yeah, 2 goals in that game against France. So yeah, there's the head-to-head record for you. Quick injury update. I think in terms of injury, everyone's fit for England. There was a few doubts with the illnesses. I think Declan Rice was ill at some point. Marcus Rashford might have been ill, and then there was a similar situation with Mbappe where he missed training and everyone was like, "Oh, he's going to be out for the game," but it was just like a little knock, I think, with his ankle, and unfortunately he's going to be available.
Sterling's gone home, hasn't he, as well?
Sterling's gone home due to a robbery at his house or something, and I think Ben White's gone home as well. So a couple of players gone home for us. Sam, is this the one for you where you think it could be end of the journey, end of the road?
I want to sing Boys to Men so badly now.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The end of the road. I think.
Oh, I can't let go. Sorry.
I mean,
you belong to me.
Oh, fucking hell! I've derailed this show.
Yeah.
If I want to say Ten Hag then, if Southgate gets through this test, I have some serious apologising and grovelling to do. Because he's then...
I'll be here for it.
Yeah, I know. He's then proved himself, I think, to me, because I don't think he's played anybody of this caliber yet in any tournament, and I think this is his first big test. And if he comes through this, then yeah, we can beat anybody. But this is a massive test, and. In my heart, I'm like, I want to support England, and I want to be like, come on, in England, all that sort of stuff. But in my head's saying this might be a bit too much for them. This might be the test that we can't quite complete at this point, despite the fact that we probably have player for player a match up quite well. I just think the manager and his tactics and the way he wants to play sometimes, I think that's what's going to let us down in the end.
Some good comments there from Southgate's arch nemesis, Mr. Sam McCabe. Adam, from a neutral perspective, how would you assess both teams?
From a neutral perspective. He sits there with a France
No, but you've watched both teams from afar, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't have any kind of, you know what I'm saying?
If I'm to pick, 4 standout teams in the tournament so far, I'd probably look at Brazil, France, England, and Portugal. They'd be my 4 that I would pick. But I think Sam touched on it really well there. It was player for player. I think England have the better team, especially now because the French team is just littered with injuries right now. And I think this is probably England's best chance to actually make it to a World Cup final now for some time. But look at if if England managed to get by this big test, I think they might have it. Look, I tipped England to go far in the tournament, and for me, there's no bigger test than the actual current world champions. And like we've always sang the French team's praise that they have this A, B, and C team that are good enough to compete with some other top nations. So they are still a tough team at the end of the day, but England, I just think, look better right now. They've only conceded 2 goals. And for me, if you shut down the one lane on their left wing, Mbappe, if you shut that down, I think you're cutting a lot of their attack off. And I don't think there's. If you're probably looking for a right back in world football that could try and do that job, it is Kyle Walker.
He's done it.
And he's fit
He's done
now.
it. He's done it already when City have played PSG. So he's done it before.
Exactly. So that's going to be the one area I think that could be, the standout. If you want to pay attention there, they're going to try and play down the left, and you better hope that he doesn't swap wings and puts him on Maguire's side.
Yeah, well, they're more than capable of it. The same side with the other winger, Ousmane Dembele, he's more than capable of going over to the left-hand side. Griezmann's versatile enough to play anywhere across that front line, so it won't surprise me at all with a bit of fluidity up top. So Adam mentioned there the attacking talent they've got. Obviously, both teams, England and France, have a wealth of talent in the ranks. But out of the front three, which one would you rather have? Giroud, Mbappe, Dembele, or Rashford, Kane, and Foden? And why?
I took the French front three. Any day. Rashford, Kane, and who's the other one? Foden, yeah. I think the French front three is probably, I don't know. They just sound more. Well, Giroud and Dembele are very well experienced. Even though Dembele is young, he's been playing from a really young age at a high level. Phil Foden is only 3 years in. And I think there's just a lot more unpredictability with them lot than you'd have with the front, with the England front three. I think it just looks more together. I don't know. I think they have more of a synergy than the English front three. Because what we've seen in the World Cup, we've seen Kane be the constant, but then it was Saka and Grealish. Oh, sorry, Saka and Sterling, and then it was Rashford, and so it's been mixed up a few times. Apart from when they played their team B, it's always been Mbappe, Giroud, and Dembele. And what actually, if I was English, what would really scare me is not Mbappe, is Dembele against Luke Shaw.
Yeah,
because we all know Luke Shaw's concentration. Like, he's amazing, as a player, but he does suffer from those lapses of concentration. And Dembele is probably one of the most tricky players that you would ever face. So
quick.
That would be
extremely quick as well, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's tricky, And I remember once somebody asked him if he was left or right-footed, and he was like, "I don't know." That was his answer. It was like, he was like, "I don't know, whichever one." So like he's one of my favorite players, like, ever. Yeah. And it's just he's always a threat when he's on it, and I think a lot of noise is being made about Mbappe, rightly so. Yeah. But that's all I've been hearing. Mbappe. There's way more people to be worried about than Mbappe. So
the thing is, I like about your point as well is because a lot of France's attack go through that left channel. Like Griezmann seems to drift over that side, and Mbappe's obviously on that side, and Giroud does it at times as well. So it leaves similar to like Antony for United. It leaves Dembele kind of isolated 1v1. So I think that will be a thing to keep an eye on. Everyone will be so focused on Mbappe and everything that's going on that side. When Luke Shaw is 1v1 with him, he's going to have to be like switched on as much as Kyle Walker in that sense. So 100% agree with that. Sam, how big, I know you've kind of already touched on it already, but how big will this be for England? If we go and beat France, do you think then England could go on to win it with the momentum they'll have behind them from beating the current world champions?
Yeah, I think this is our biggest test because I think if we come through this, we get, is it Morocco or Portugal? Is that our line? Yeah. So I think Morocco, I think Morocco have looked beatable. I don't think they've looked special. They've got a good player, obviously, in Araf Hakimi, and then there's that other guy that everybody's talking about.
Tell you what, Amrabat for them.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, so
unreal, mate.
they've got some good players, man, like for sure. But I don't think they're any better than France. So, like, if we beat France, I don't see why Morocco will be a problem. Portugal looked absolutely scintillating against Switzerland, but again, Switzerland, they're not a great team, are they? Like, honestly, like, the Switzerland are probably one of the poorest teams in the tournament, and I don't get how they got to the last 16 at all. I don't understand it, but that is so. I think those teams are very, very beatable, and then the test then comes, I think, in the final. I think, depending if I think Brazil end up in the final personally, and I think then that's your other test. Your two tests are going to be France and Brazil are the two big teams that you're going to face. I think the semi-final is winnable, but the final and this game are the two massive tests. But yeah, if we can go through this, I think the confidence that it can't help but be infectious to the rest of the team, and sort of belief that you've just beaten the world champions in a knockout game. If you've done that, then I don't see why you wouldn't think you could beat someone like Brazil, who are absolutely flying right now. So, and again, Brazil have looked shaky at times in certain places. They can be got at and they can be beaten. So, I don't see any weaknesses in our team. I see weaknesses in the managerial and the tactics and the decision making. That's where I see our weaknesses.
Okay, interesting. Adam, I want to talk to you about the tournament as a whole, because you haven't spoken much on it. Who has been your player of the tournament so far?
There's been a few standout players. We've seen the likes of, obviously, Mbappe for France. Another one, Richarlison too, has been really good for Brazil. Scored some absolute stoners as well. Yeah, R9 like. And I think you got to throw a shout out to him as well. Bruno Fernandes, I think, has been, for me, the standout so far. Like, I think Buttery's numbers, he has like 2 goals,
2 assists. Yeah,
2 assists in 4 games.
Yeah,
Casemiro really, as well. Casemiro's been unreal. Too,
that was my pick for player of the tournament so far.
I have to say,
all his appearances, like, he's put in like stellar performances, stellar.
Mm-hmm. All the United players have actually been really well. So I hope to take this into the second half of the season when we started after the World Cup. So here's praying to that. But I put a lot of the Man United players up there with player of the tournament so far. And Mbappe, Rashford too has looked really good when he's come on.
Yeah. Any outside shouts from anyone else? Not kind of like, I'm not saying the ones Adam's picked are obvious,
Hakimi?
but Hakimi, yeah. Panenka he did was
the balls to do that.
Ice in his veins, mate, to do that. That was unreal. Any others? Any ones you look at maybe in defence and the back line? Because obviously the attackers and midfielders usually get the praise, don't they? But is there any defenders that have stood out to you guys?
Yeah, Theo Hernandez has been good as well.
Yeah.
Adam loves that guy. He loves him.
Yeah, Theo Hernandez has been really good. Because you don't expect a lot of times you don't expect things from him, like like the assists and all that. But yeah, he's been brilliant.
I think Pepe's been good for Portugal as well, considering he's 39 years old. He's been solid for him. Like, it's crazy to think he's still playing. Similar age to Cristiano, and he's still
Lisandro Martinez he's not had the opportunity.
When he has, got fucking
that's what I'm
minutes,
saying. He's been great.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely. I don't understand why he's not starting, because he's been fantastic when he's played.
This is when the games get really big now as well. I can't wait for these quarterfinals, semi-finals. I want to speak a little bit on England's individual kind of personnel. Jude Bellingham has been a massive talking point this World Cup. You would think there's going to be a lot of teams bidding for him in the summer. A very hot prospect. 2 questions for you guys, and Sam, I'll go to you first on this. Where do you think he goes? What club, if you make a prediction now, where do you think he goes? And if he continues on this kind of trajectory that he's on right now, do you think he'll be considered as one of England's greatest players ever? I know it's a bit premature, but judging from what you've seen on his talent, if he's to continue on that trajectory, do you think he's going to go down as that?
His talent is nobody's doubting his talent. The kid is phenomenal. He's 19 years old and he looks like he's been playing for about 10 years. He's like Casemiro sort of levels of like swagger and class, and just seems to be able to not get nervous, not stumble at any point. He's captain material as well. Like I believe he's led Dortmund out a few times as captain, and he carries himself that way as well. So I think, yeah, the dude is like, and he's 19, so he's not even at his peak yet. Like he's not even at his best yet. So if he carries on, keeps his head down, works hard and stuff, then why can't he go down as a fantastic player and one of the best? It's too early to tell for me at this point. Like I think we can hype up young players too quickly and too early, and we've got to give him time to grow, time to win things, all that sort of stuff. So let's give the guy time. But at the minute, he's playing absolute class. Where he goes, I know there's all these like stuff about him hanging out with Liverpool players, Jordan Henderson and Trent all the time in training. I think Shaw mentioned it in his interview or something like that. He was saying, "Oh yeah, Jude's hanging out with that." So there's a lot of links in there. But yeah, I think it depends on who comes in as new owners at Liverpool, because we know FSG are not big spenders for the most part. I know they laid out quite a lot of money on Darwin Núñez, but I can't imagine they do that twice. Like someone after the summer, I can't imagine they do that, and then he's going to cost what, 150 million plus, if not more, depending on how far he goes in this World Cup. Do you know what I mean? So I don't see Liverpool spending that amount of money on him, to be honest with you. I could well see him staying at Dortmund for another year. I think that's a very real possibility, because I think the way he's spoken in the media and the way his manager and his agent and stuff have spoken, they said it's not about money for him, it's about development and where he can make himself the best player and how he can improve and stuff like that. So I don't think he's interested in like a Raiola type thing where he moves a new place every 3 years and just collects paychecks and stuff. I don't think that's necessarily him. So I think he could well stay there at Dortmund for another year. Like we saw it with Haaland, we all thought he was going to go. We saw it with Sancho, we all thought he was going to go, and ended up staying for another year. So who knows? Real Madrid are sniffing about, but how does he get in that midfield that Real Madrid have got? I don't see who he replaces. Does he replace Tchouaméni? Does he replace Modric, Kroos, Camavinga, Valverde? I don't see him going there because he wants to play. He wants to play games. So I think he personally stays next year. I don't think he goes anywhere next year. I'd love him to come to United. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he comes to United. I don't think it's their destination he's going to go to. I think our opportunity to get him was the time when we showed him around the training ground and he ended up going to Dortmund. That was our time to get him, and we didn't do it. So I think our time's passed for him to get. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to take him. I would take him in a heartbeat, but I don't think he's coming.
I think for his career choice, all the fact he did go to Dortmund was probably the best decision he made.
Exactly.
So I want to bring you in on this. Similar question to yourself, and how impressed have you been with him this tournament so far?
He's been good in the tournament. He's done everything that was expected of him. I'm not on the hype train just yet because I've seen him. I've seen him do this already. Like this is what we do. Like I don't know if you guys have like short-term memory. Like we do this every World Cup. This last time it was against De Ligt. Like I heard the way people talked about De Ligt after the World Cup that time, and he was like, he's going to be, I don't know what. And look what happened. Like, we need to give these people time. Like, we need to allow them. He's playing really, really well, Jude Bellingham. Really, really well. But he's putting in performances that we've seen before. And he's top class.
Not for England. We've not seen it for England before.
I know. But I'm just saying, it's the World Cup is a big stage and everything. But, you know, if you look at the quality of opposition that you play in a World Cup, not just England, just in general, the quality of opposition you play in the World Cup, like it's nothing compared to like what you play in the Champions League or, you know.
Can I ask Severe? Can I ask something?
Sorry?
If he repeats a performance against France, is that then enough for you to convince you that this guy's for real?
No. Don't get me wrong. Listen, I'm not downplaying.
No. I know you're not.
Yeah, I'm not downplaying. I've had massive arguments about Jude Bellingham with people before. Like I've always rated him like he's up there, and it's also his work ethic. If you hear like what he does behind the scenes and how they talk about him at Dortmund, and he's the third captain at Dortmund. So like when Matt Hummels and Marco Reus got injured, it was up to him then to be the captain. When you still had people like there were still senior players there. but he was the captain. So like, he does a lot. I'm just saying, people need to just let this guy grow. I mean, I've seen this over and over again when players are hyped so much, and then it's almost as if 2 years later, it's like, who, So, yeah, to answer your question, Sam, like even if he puts in a performance against France, I expect that. Like that's what Bellingham does. When last did you see him produce a below par?
City, didn't he, in the Champions League? I've seen him do it multiple
times. So he's always up there. In terms of where he goes, Liverpool seems to be probably the most realistic place, because I heard what the Dortmund, I don't know if you guys heard the guy from Dortmund, I don't remember what position he is, but he had like an interview and he was talking about it, and he was talking about the relationship they have with the club and blah blah blah. He's definitely leaving this summer, whether he likes it or not, because Dortmund want to cash in now. Like this is the best time they can get, they can sell him for a large fee, because nobody knows what's going to happen next summer. Well, the summer after. So they're ready to cash in. They're rubbing their hands right now. The problem is, I don't know if Liverpool can afford his wages. They might be able to afford the transfer fee, but it's the wages. If they can afford to pay him and then buy some other top players, I think it's between Liverpool and City. Not sure if Real Madrid are ready to get him, because they've got Germany and a host of other players. So I think he might go to. I think he'll end up at Liverpool. In regards to that, I'm not really bothered if he goes there. Like, I'd like him at United, but like we've got. I think if we can get some other players, like the right players for Ten Hag's system, I won't be too bothered.
Yeah, I'm on the same track as that.
Right.
Adam, what about yourself? A couple of questions there. Like, the thing that keeps sticking out to me, and I know they're not similar players, playing different positions, but we saw Jadon Sancho at Dortmund, for example. He was lighting it up, 16 goals, 16 assists, young British talent. He's come over to the Premier League. It's not necessarily translated. I know Bellingham's more of a generational kind, and in his position, I'd say it's more probably tougher in that position to kind of dominate a game as a 19-year-old. But where do you see Bellingham's trajectory, and what club do you think he'll end up at in the summer?
I think, like, his ceiling's really, really high. The sky's the limit. He is everything you want in a midfielder. That kind of, looking at him now, he kind of reminds me of what Pogba should have been. He has the passing ability. He's strong in the ball. He's quite skillful. He's really good in the air. Can win a header. Can do well defensively too, and turn defense into attack. Looking at where he'd go, like, there's been links with Madrid, but Madrid for me have some of the best young midfielders already. Right there, and like, are they going to sign another one, especially for that much money? I doubt it. We don't have the money to spend that on one player, I don't think, next summer, so that rules us out. I don't even think we'd be in the running, even if we get Champions League. I don't think it's someone we target right now. Liverpool, there's very, very big links, and I think that's the most realistic, but Sevilla touched on, it was the wage bill, and they don't like to change their wage bill that much. There's not many clubs that Dortmund want a big price tag, but who's willing to pay it? That's the thing now. Like, Juventus used to pay these fees as well sometimes, but
they're going well, aren't they? They're going really well right now.
Right. So they're gone. I don't see Madrid or Barcelona being there. City, maybe. City can afford the wage.
That's where I think if Pep Guardiola says he wants Bellingham, I think they go get him like that. Easy.
Because De Bruyne is early 30s. Bernardo, I don't know how Bernardo is.
Well, every summer Bernardo gets linked away, doesn't he? Every summer they seem to link him.
Yeah.
So
it's a possibility.
So I think, looking at it realistically, and Jordan Henderson seems to hang around with him a lot. Maybe he's in his ear as well about it. That's one thing I noticed too. But if City want him, he's theirs. Like, they can afford the transfer, they can afford the wage, they have everything. Look, Pep Guardiola, he's built these mad teams.
Newcastle.
And he probably play well in a Pep Guardiola. Newcastle, that could be a surprise one. You never know.
No,
I'm joking. I'm joking, Sophia. I'm not serious.
No, I'm just saying. Like, one thing we know about Bellingham is his ambition. Like, that guy is ambitious. I think
you want to start winning from young, innit? You want to start winning them trophies from young, definitely.
That's what rules us out, because we're not showing the same ambition as Liverpool or City. So it's one of them ones.
Okay, let's part that conversation on Bellingham. I want to ask you one more question about the game tomorrow night. The big talking point is how to deal with Kylian Mbappe. Do they switch to a back five to deal with that, or do you go with a formation that kind of got you to the dance? Sam, how do you go about it if you're Southgate tomorrow?
If I'm Southgate, we play how we set up against Senegal. That's how I set up if I'm the manager. I think if you play a back five and you try and double up on Mbappe, you just then give more space to the likes of Griezmann, the likes of Dembele, the likes of Giroud, and they're able to become more effective in the game. We've already seen that they can kill games off. Giroud's is he France's top scorer now? He's overtook Thierry Henry's record.
53 goals.
Yeah. So the guy's no slouch. The guy doesn't get the respect he deserves. The dude's fucking scored goals everywhere he's gone. So, and he just doesn't seem to get any sort of praise about it. Griezmann, obviously, his Barcelona sort of excursion didn't work that well, and at Atletico, they wouldn't play him because of a price thing. That if he played a certain amount of minutes, they'd have to pay a certain amount or something. It was fucking insane. Crackhead accounting, basically, again.
Yeah, La Liga in general.
Yeah, it's just mental. So he hasn't played much for Atletico either, but for France, he's been fantastic. I think he's been underrated. The way he's played for France has been really good. And Seville's already touched on Dembele, how good that guy is. It's just a shame his injury ruined his career for so long, because that dude's talented. He's mega talented. So yeah, if we go to a back five and try to double up on Mbappe, we're just going to risk giving space to those other French players, and then we end up just defending for our lives pretty much for the entire time. So I think, like we've said a few times, player for player, we've got players that can match up to France. So why not go for it? Why not play the best players, match up to them, and then attack, try and kill it off early? I don't understand why we do that. I've got this strange, horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach though that he's going to do a back five. I really do think that's the way he's gonna play it. And let's see if Southgate shows his true colours, or he comes through and decides to go for it. Let's see what happens. But I've got that nagging feeling in the back of my head. I don't like it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, Seville, we see him do it against Germany, I think it was, in the Euros. I think he went to a back five, which we did actually get a result out of that game. Do you think it'd be tactically naive to go with a back five against France?
So, because basically you're trying to just not lose, but you're not actually trying to win the game. And I think he played a back five when you played Belgium in the Euros. Was it Euros? Where you lost?
I thought it was Germany.
Belgium. No. So you beat Germany, but then you lost in the semi-finals to Belgium.
In the Euros.
Or was it the World Cup?
No, we lost in the semi-finals to Croatia in the World Cup.
So when did you lose to Belgium?
Is it a group game? Is it a group game?
That might have been 2000. No, it might have been 2016, was it not?
Yeah, so you played, so you went
in the
Euros,
group,
and then but then you progressed to the semi-finals, lost to them, and then played Croatia in the third place match and lost that as well. Or played someone. Don't you remember?
I don't think that was Euros or World Cup though. No, because the Euros, we played Croatia in the semis, lost to them, and then the World Cup after that in 2018. No, the Euros after that, 2020, we got to the final, got beat by Italy. So you might be going back a bit there to 2016 Euros. I think it was something to do with Belgium, essentially. But I'm sure Belgium played Wales in the semi-final of the Euros 2016, because Wales got far, and then Belgium beat Wales, didn't they, to play Portugal.
We'll have to check it out. But I think I remember that really clearly, like Lingard and all that. It couldn't have been that far back. But anyway, back five. That's what Switzerland tried to do. They tried to play that. Well, obviously the three centre defenders and the wing backs, they just got torn. Like, if you're gonna play that back five, you have to know what the fuck you're doing. The way Tuchel does it at Chelsea, where he plays the three and the two wing backs, he's really good at that. But with England, I don't know if you and I had this conversation in the chat as well. With Gareth Southgate, like I just haven't seen anything like from the way England play. Like you keep getting bailed out by your top players, and it's not necessarily him doing. I don't think it's anything to do with the way he's set up. I just think you have a lot of quality, and this is the thing because even teams like Germany, they got knocked out, but you could see what Hansi Flick was doing, and then they slipped up against South Korea. Was it? No, sorry, Japan. But you could see what they were trying to do, even when they played Spain. I just haven't seen that from Southgate. That's my only criticism with him, and I don't know if he's going to be able to set up, if he has the right setup against France. Now, in a one-off game in a tournament, like anything can happen, absolutely anything. So you never know. I mean, the players could be up for it. Everyone could be, but I think he should stick with the back four. He should be proactive. He shouldn't just set up not to lose and shouldn't just focus on, because everything you hear in the news now is Mbappe and Walker. Like France has a lot more to offer than just that. Don't forget that Rabiot has also been one of their standout players this season. There's a lot happening in the midfield, so there's a lot more to focus on. I think he should just go with the 4-3-3. Bringing John Henderson into the starting lineup has actually been good for England as well. So, because it was just Rice and Bellingham starting. Remember when they played USA and who was the first one? Iran, I think. Yeah. But then bringing him in and having them three in the midfield, it is a lot more stability there. So, I think you should go with the 4-3-3. With Kane dropping deeper, France will fancy their chances. I think he should try to go the Louis van Gaal route and try and counter them. Get Kane to drop deep, and just try and exploit the flanks. So that's sorry.
I was going to say, so Southgate spotted an issue with the team, a tactical kind of issue that it wasn't working with these two midfields. He spots it up, brings Henderson in, makes a great decision, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just double checking.
But you don't understand. Like that doesn't mean like he's
but these are elements of what a manager does, right?
Yeah.
Like you bring in set personnel for set games. That's like tactical awareness, is it not? Bringing
do you want to put your waistcoat on down, Nick, or do you want to save it for?
Mate, I just think he doesn't get a fair. I don't think he gets fair criticism. I think a lot of people drill him, and he's only. If you look at the tournaments that he's played in, he's only lost in a top tier like World Cup Euros to Belgium in 90 minutes, and that was the third place playoff or whatever it was. I've just checked it in 2018. After we lost to Croatia, we then played Belgium, which we lost that game. That's the only one in 90 minutes that he's lost. Apart from that, he's won all the others. So he can't be doing that bad, can he?
No, you can't. But then you have to ask yourself, then why is there so much criticism against with him and the way he plays?
Just because the reason I'll tell you why he's got so much criticism, because people want to see the Pep Guardiola style of football, and I get it, the tiki taka, high press, they love it. But in international football, tell me a team that's played that kind of football in the past 10 years who's won it. There isn't one. France didn't do it. No. Spain certainly didn't do it in 2010. You know what I mean?
I don't know what everyone else is expecting, but I'm not looking to see like tiki-taka. I just want, I need to see something that I believe in, whether it's tiki-taka, whether you're going to defend, whether you're good, something that you can believe in. It doesn't have to be flashy football. It doesn't have to be as attractive. Just the system. Tell me what he does. I don't really know what this guy does.
So when you
played USA, like that was. Remember so Iran was as expected. Like it's what you see against Albania, Montenegro, and the rest of them when you qualify. When you played against USA, like if you have a player like Phil Foden, almost like one of them generational talent, you don't know how to utilize this guy, then what the fuck are you doing? Like he played that whole game with Mason Mount. It was such a drag. Like America had more chances. It's really, you could have played that game for 700 minutes and probably wouldn't have scored. So these are the kind of things. The first half against Wales, a very terrible Wales side. Like I didn't see anything.
The first 30 minutes against Senegal, same thing. Like it was terrible.
Yeah. So there's no reason to have an agenda against somebody like Gareth Southgate. Like he's probably one of like the nicest characters you could ever. It's not like he's a prick or anything. So like, why would anyone have?
Sometimes people don't like that. It's,
Nick,
look, we could.
Just one question. One question.
Yeah.
Like you could look at different managers and you could right off the top of your dome you can name their style, how they like to play and stuff like that. Ten Hag,
I can name
Pep Guardiola. Style. Name it. What is it?
Compact, organised, likes to press with the front three with your Rashfords, your Sakas. Kane likes to drop deep into midfield. The wingers are inverted.
Kane plays that way anyway. Kane plays that way for Tottenham. Like that's not.
You have one. You have one.
Southgate.
You have one screen in Declan Rice, and usually whoever is next to him. I know I brought Henderson into it recently for a bit more control and a bit more experience in that role. And you had Bellingham kind of in the little bit of a free roam, but he's still got the defensive duties in there as well. So you can't say there isn't a tactical approach to it. Of course there is. The beating teams, they haven't lost. They scored 12 goals in the tournament. And
against who? Against who? Iran,
what do you mean? Well,
USA.
France have played Australia, they played Tunisia, and they played Denmark. So why is everyone giving them high praise?
Because they've won a trophy. We haven't.
Yeah, we've got to a final. Before.
Yeah, but they've won the World Cup. We haven't won it.
But I'm saying they're getting praised this World Cup. They're getting everyone's licking
because
their ass.
They won the last World Cup.
No. They're licking their ass. They're licking their ass because of how they're playing in this tournament. Is my point. Oh, they beat They beat Denmark. Denmark was shit anyway. Let's be honest. They beat Australia, but they lost to Tunisia only because they played the B team. And they're the favourites. That everyone's talking about them. But England, the players that we have are right up there with anyone who's in the competition now.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. That's the facts. I agree with you. The problem is the manager. He doesn't know what to do with the players he's got. Like Severe said,
you can't say that when he's lost one game in 90 minutes.
Phil Foden is one of the best players in the country. He's fucking phenomenal. He doesn't start for England. He doesn't know where to play.
A couple of games. What are you on about? He's got 2 assists.
Yeah, because there was an uproar. Nick, don't you remember? After the American game, there was a massive uproar.
Yeah.
The feedback. The thing about this is that we have a lot of it's almost as if we just have this short-term memory. What we forget, because I remember the conversations we have during the game. And then after the game, everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. No, did you forget what you were saying an hour ago?
Not you
personally.
No, I know. But I said prior to that game, just put it out there, for that USA game, Mason Mount will probably start because of the legs. The energy, the athleticism that the USA have and the pace they have in the team, it's hard to deal with that counter press. It's hard to deal with the players that they've got running in behind. So as a unit collective, they're going to more likely to select players like Mount. That's how I thought he would approach it.
Should we let Adam have it? Should we let Adam have it?
Yeah, can we bring Adam in? Sorry, Adam, because you've been there for a while. And obviously,
flying the wall.
Yeah. Apologies, Adam. If he did go to this back five tomorrow, who do you think he takes out of midfield, and who would he play as the wing backs? Do you think to get the best out of that system if he does go back to that?
He'd probably take Henderson back out, but I think if he's setting up a back five, it's basically inviting pressure on and saying we just don't want to lose. We're not going to go for it. It comes back to the saying he's been playing this back four, and if something isn't broken, don't try and fix it. You've conceded the least amount of goals, I think, from any of the remaining teams left. I believe, as you said, only 2 goals. That was in your first game, where anything can happen in the first game. Yeah. Look, Argentina lost, and look where they are now. So anything can happen in the first game. He still scored 6 that game anyway. Was it 6-2?
Yeah, 6-2.
I think it was
6-2.
Yeah, and I just don't think you should change anything. Go with the back four. Be confident. Put the extra man in midfield. They have a decent midfield, so try and counter that. But you have an even better midfield for me. Up front, Harry Kane can drop deep. I'd probably start Rashford. I would, just for the pace, because they're going to play a bit of a high line. I know they have a bit of pace. Their right back in particular isn't necessarily great. It's probably their weakest point in the team, I'd argue.
What's the right back for France?
Kunde.
Or just Kunde?
Just Kunde.
Position.
Yeah. As a centre back, I get what you're saying. The right back and the I get it.
Mm-hmm. So that's potentially an area where you can exploit. But I just don't think he should change, honestly. And I know you touched on different managers with different styles of play and that, but on the international scene, I can't think of many managers who have put their style of play across. France don't particularly look great when they won the World Cup. They don't play amazing football. The only identifiable team that I can say that the manager has a philosophy you could argue was maybe Louis van Gaal's Dutch team or Luis Enrique's Spain team that are gone now. It was just passing about, and look where it got them out.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just need a bit of luck on the day, but you create your own luck at the end of the day as well. So I don't think he's going to get any luck if he starts a back five. He should try and go for it and counter them there. This is probably the best time to play France for me. They're not looking that strong as they were, but the injuries that they're missing, obviously the likes of Pogba, Kante, Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner. So it's a chance there for England, and it's there for the taking for me.
Yeah.
And I think you should really go for it. And I think you might. I think you will. I think you'll come through it.
Nice. I do think it feel like it's 51-49, like 51 France, 49 England. I think it's a slight edge with France in my predictions, which we're going to get into shortly. Let's do some quick fire questions then. Will Kylian Mbappe score tomorrow? Saturday, sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me one surprise.
I really don't have an answer for it. But yeah, go on.
Give me one surprised inclusion for tomorrow, if any. Will there be any shock players that start?
I think it'll be a back five, so I think they're going to be the shock. I think it'll be a back five.
Is that a shock though, because you expected it?
No, but most people want the back four, don't they? So I think that's what I mean.
You said Grealish, Severe.
Yeah.
Interesting. Adam?
Does Rashford count?
Yeah, if you want to throw Rashford in there, that's fine. Will both teams score?
Yeah.
And in the other games, very quick, Claire, who wins Argentina, Netherlands, Portugal, Morocco, Brazil, Croatia?
Brazil beat Croatia. Argentina just beat Netherlands, and then Portugal beat Morocco.
Adam, would you agree with that?
I put the Dutch through.
I agree.
The Dutch are going to do a job.
Yeah. I haven't been that impressed with Argentina, to be honest. I think Messi's been incredible, but apart from that, I haven't been.
Yeah, but that's what I think. I think Messi will get him out of trouble. I think Messi will get him out.
I think Louis Van Gaal will have a plan for him.
He's really good defensively.
Yeah.
I'll go with Sam's prediction because Louis Van Gaal hasn't, like, the Dutch haven't been lighting it up at all. Like, in terms of the way they play, like, it doesn't fill me with any kind of confidence. You remember how they left it late against Senegal? Sorry?
Can I say one thing about them? He's had 19 games since he's come back to manage the Dutch, and he hasn't lost a single one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's... Yeah, I was listening to some Dutch journalists the other day, and they were talking about how everyone in Netherlands is complaining because he's kind of moved from the attractive football and he's playing very sort of like pragmatic just to win. So yeah, but I think I don't know. I don't see them going through, especially if Argentina score first. And Argentina, one thing we've seen is that they've been growing from game to game. They only get better every single game they've played. So we'll see. But I'll go with Sam's prediction. So Portugal to beat Morocco, Argentina to beat Netherlands, and Brazil, Croatia.
Yeah. With that said, let's do predicted 11s, and we can go through these very quickly because I think people love kind of similar ones. I'm going to go Pickford, Walker, Stones, Maguire, Shaw, Rice, Mount. I think will play, and I don't know, Bellingham. I'm like Henderson and Bellingham. I'm torn between. I'll go Henderson. Fuck it. Saka, Kane, and Foden up top. I think we'll start. Sam, from yours.
I think he does a back five. So Pickford. I think Walker becomes your right centre back with Maguire and Stones. And then you got Trippier and Shaw as your wing backs. And I think he plays Bellingham and Henderson as your two midfielders.
No Rice.
No, I don't think he plays. And then I think Saka. I think Rashford starts and Harry Kane.
Okay. Severe.
I'm going to go 4-3-3. Pickford, Kyle Walker, Maguire, Stone, Shaw, Henderson, Rice, Jude Bellingham, Rashford, Kane, Foden.
Nice. And finally, Adam.
Pickford, Walker, John Stones, Maguire, Luke Shaw, Henderson, Rice, and Jude. And then up front, I'm going to go with Rashford, Kane, and Saka.
Rashford, Kane, Saka. Very quick score predictions if we can, lads. Sam?
2-1 to France.
Adam, from the neutral perspective, score prediction?
1-1 and then 2-1 to England after extra time.
That's my exact prediction. Severe.
1-0 France.
Ooh, two for two there on score predictions.
I think England score first, though. I think we score first and then we get pegged back and France score 2.
Okay, very interesting. That concludes the show for today, fellas. Thank you to everyone who's watching. Please subscribe to our channel and like the video. We're officially in the knockout stages, and this is where history is made. So make sure you stick with us throughout the tournament. For United and England fans, if you want regular updates, general news, and clips from our channel, make sure you check us out on social media. All the handles are at the bottom of the graphic, or just head to the link in the video description. Sam, cheers for coming on.
No worries, anytime.
Perfect. Adam, thank you for providing comedy aspects as well as some really good insight.
Oui, au revoir.
Yeah. And Severe, you don't look a day over 30, mate. Thank you for coming on.
Greatest looking 67-year-old of all time.
Yeah.
59.
59.
This guy, man. This guy, man. See you later, guys. Thank you very much.